Hi, it's Desley here. Today we're going to talk about some of the ailments under the letter M. So the first one today is Meniere's disease. So Meniere's disease occurs when there's a build-up of fluid in the inner ear, and this can cause balance issues. Some of the symptoms can be tinnitus, which is ringing in the ears, vertigo and dizziness, and hearing loss. So with this particular condition, it's really important to keep your salt levels reduced and to ensure that you keep your stress levels down, because this all exacerbates the condition. It can also be a good idea to keep your sugar at a reduced rate because it can also cause insulin resistance that exacerbates the condition. B6 is useful, as well as coenzyme Q10 and your vitamin E to aid circulation to the ear. Manganese, the mineral manganese, is also useful. Okay, and the next one is your morning sickness. So morning sickness occurs predominantly in the first trimester of pregnancy, but it can certainly go on for longer. The best thing to do is to have dry crackers handy and nibble on those throughout the day, and have small, frequent little meals. It's also essential to stay well hydrated. It's the excess of estrogen that tends to bring on the morning sickness, and the progesterone also relaxes the stomach and intestines and can make you feel nauseous. So you need to ensure that you keep your protein levels up and ensure that you also keep your stress levels down as well. So B6 and ginger are useful for the morning sickness, and you can purchase seasickness bands from the chemist that may be helpful. Herbs like your meadowsweet, ginger and dandelion will help aid your digestion, as well as enzymes and acid support. Okay, and the last one is menopause. Now, menopause is known as a change of life, and this is when a woman ceases to ovulate and is no longer fertile. You have to have not had a period for at least 12 months to be in full-blown menopause, but you can have what's known as perimenopause for up to 10 years prior. And some of the symptoms you can have are your hot flushes, sweats, lack of libido, fluid retention. You can get lightheaded or dizzy. You can have headaches. You can have changes to your bowel and bladder function. You can have vaginal dryness, and you can have anxiety and depression. So for the hot flushes and sweats, cooling herb like Romania is very useful. And as you go into the menopause years, your adrenals start to take over more of the role of making hormones for you. So if you're stressed, invariably they won't be functioning as well as what they should. So licorice root and the ginsengs are quite helpful to maintain good function, and it's also imperative that you have good liver function as well, because particularly in the perimenopause years, women tend to be more estrogen dominant, so you need to ensure that your constantly clearing out any of that excess estrogen, particularly if you have any family history of breast cancers, endometrial cancers, etc. Okay, so when you reach menopause, the lack of estrogen will also affect your skin and your bones, as well as your arteries. So you're more predisposed to cardiovascular disease, as well as osteoporosis. So it's really important that you keep up with your minerals, such as your calcium, magnesium and zinc in those years, and to ensure that you eat adequate amounts of protein and good amounts of fibre, and your nuts and seeds to get your essential fatty acids, to keep things like your cholesterol in check. There are functional tests that I perform, such as the Dutch test, which is dried urine, which gives you a much more detailed account of what's happening with your hormonal system. So if that's something that you would be particularly interested in, particularly if you've tried various herbs and you're still having issues with menopausal symptoms, then please don't hesitate to contact me at desilocknaturopath.com.au or my Facebook page. Okay, thanks very much. So next time we'll talk about foods under the letter O. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.